Life in a world that keeps changing. Think that it's progress you're making. Copy and paste pretty faces all the time. Pictures so perfect we play.
Hello everyone, welcome to Anointed Lady TV, the home of news and politics. If it is your first time in this channel, you are highly welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you like what we do on this channel, hit on the subscribe button. Also put on the notification bell so you'll be notified by YouTube anytime we drop a new video. And if you are returning subscribers, thank you very much for always coming back to watch our videos. On this platform, we drop videos every day and we react to every video that come our way. And on this very video, I will be watching with you. And after watching, let's go to the comment section and drop our opinion constructively. Like our videos and also share our videos if possible. See you next time in my
I like the way you coin the words. That's why I miss you so much. Truth has to be said. In the spirit of words, what happened in Nigeria, in Adamawa State, is a blight on our history. Reminds me of a movement that was started by a journalist called Benito Mussolini, called Fascista. What happened in Adamawa State was fascism of the highest order. Hoodooist fascism. That's what happened. And we cannot fold our arms to destroy our nation. Thanks to the authorities that salvaged the situation, because Nigeria was fast on the path of destruction. All parts of that incident must be investigated. Must be investigated. Claims and counterclaims must be investigated. I am happy President Muhammadu Buhari has stepped in. And you see, this goes back to the Waste Panel reports that talked about the fact that INEC officials, the INEC chair, should not be appointed by the president. They should be subject to the NJC for review. And that's where we are going. Because when this resident electoral commissioner went rogue, INEC couldn't discipline him because they didn't appoint him. That's the president that makes the approval as regards that. And for us to have very solid democracy, we must keep tweaking things from time to time. Going one step further, till date, we have not seen the National Broadcasting Commission come hard on the medium that aired a coup statement in Adamawa, that aired an acceptance speech of an election that was not completed. But we all see how the NBC acts in other cases. So we also want the NBC, the government regulators, to clamp down on all those that were part of this fascist activity that happened in the Adamawa State. We can't afford to see our democracy go down the drain. And that's why I'm happy that President Muhammadu Buhari has put his foot down. We cannot open our eyes and not talk about evil when we see it. It's only in Nigeria that all of a sudden somebody wants to win an election when the elections are not completed. And if we don't speak evil, if we don't say things we ought to say against evil, then evil continues in Nigeria. And this way we are going, we should be careful. Because that was how another person called Adolf Hitler started with his Nazism movements. If ideas like this and things like this are allowed to run amok in society, it starts with an idea. Some people go further to write a book like Hitler wrote Mein Kampf, and they start to populate this ignoble idea in society. Democracy means respect for the rule of law. And there was nothing about Adamawa that respected the rule of law. Truth has to be told, it has now become an international playground at the expense of the Sudanese people. The West is there, they are playing. The Russians are definitely there, because we all know before now they've been getting gold from Dagalo and his people. The Russians have been operating big time in Sudan. Egypt, some Egyptian troops were arrested recently, by Dagalo's forces. Those were the troops that were fighting alongside the Sudanese army. They were arrested. Egypt is there. America, as the Anthony Blinken is speaking and all of that. But while all of this happened, the humanitarian crisis, the Sudanese people, what becomes of them in all of this madness between Bonham and Dagalo? Because it's just replica of what happened between Riek Machar and Salva Kiir. And the funny thing is that after John Garang fought for the independence of South Sudan, two of them went rogue. It's exactly what is happening. After Omar al-Bashir left the scene, Bonham and Dagalo are at each other. What happens then to the Sudanese people? Should they go and die because two people are fighting for power? Secondly, let's talk about the impending Sudan that might happen within. We have seen terrorist group get empowered and emboldened in Nigeria. Hope we're not going to wake up one morning in this country and see Russian MiG jets flying in cities, dropping bombs at enemy targets. Yorubas have been saying, Umbo, umbo, awala dede. Are we not getting to that point now in this country?
Thank you, Rufai. I've been in this game of being an analyst for almost 50 years now. Unfortunately, the civilians don't count when big political and military forces are involved. I'm so sorry to say that, but that is the honest truth. Look at how many civilians died in the Russian Civil War or in the Bolshevik War, as we know it, between the Bolsheviks and the Mensheviks, or between the Red Army and the Royal Army. Look how many millions of Russians died. How about the American Civil War? How many people died in the war between the North and the South? And of course, before people say, Falana, take care of your own, let me also say how many Nigerians died during the Nigerian Civil War. Please, in case there are people who don't understand that reference to Falana, I'm not referring to Falana, the SCN, but the Yorubas have a saying, mind your own business before you start minding the business of other people. It's a play on words, but the civilians are always the losers. Unfortunately, this is what we should just accept. There's nothing we can do about it. Those who play the game are those who are armed with the armed forces. We can speak from now until kingdom come about how the civilians are going to suffer. They will always suffer. But in this case of Sudan, the civilians are not innocent, as I have pointed out in my earlier remarks. Because, as I said, they've behaved like spoiled brats, always on the streets, always dividing among themselves. If I have to tell you what happened, in the days of Nadeko, the division amongst us as different groups came in with their own agenda, I've always held that, God was just on the side of Nadeko. You've raised the issue of what I will call Nigerians not taking Nigeria seriously. Nigeria is not a banana republic. Nigeria has so many resources, and there are so many international vultures who have their eyes on these resources and who know that because, again, of the cleavages amongst ourselves, we are not serious about protecting our resources. There are several sections of Nigeria that will rather form alliances with external forces to get a crack at these mineral resources just to prevent, any other party in Nigeria from having access to it. They will even in any case, our definition of Nigeria is still one that we need to settle. We need to sit down around a table and have a good conversation among ourselves. We tried it at the 2014 National Conference because it is when every sector of Nigeria has a share of the cake, not only in cutting it, but in making it that all Nigerians will then see that they have a vested interest in keeping outsiders out. But a situation where it's only, or there's this perception that it is only a section of Nigeria that decides who bakes the cake, who does the distribution, then there will always be people who will prefer to deal with non-Nigerians. So you are right, but we're not taking ourselves seriously. I am one of those, and my students from University of Ibadan in the 70s who are now retired, they keep in touch with me, and they keep reminding me that, sir, from the 1970s, you've been saying that, Nigeria could be a regional actor, but when would this be? And I said, well, it's not. When I was a minister, I tried my best, and yet I know the kind of flack I got from surprisingly Nigerian students, Nigerian lecturers, that I was thinking too big for Nigeria and I should have my head examined. But I'm not going to give up on Nigeria. Nigeria is just too big for us to allow it to go to places. For each one of us, we have something to gain in resolving the problems that face Nigeria. And we should learn the lesson of Sudan. We should learn the lesson of Ethiopia, how they tried to set up Tigray versus the Ethiopian government. And we should learn the lesson of how people set up Africans against each other before again they come back to Nigeria to have a crack at us.
Well, Prof, Japan, Uganda, Tanzania, these are countries that are already evacuating their people out of Sudan. Now, the Nigerian embassy in Sudan says it has opened a register. Over 1,000 Nigerian students are ready to be evacuated. The embassy says it's monitoring the situation and that it's not ruling out evacuation. For how long should the government of Nigeria continue to monitor the situation before evacuation begins? What will be your advice, both to the foreign ministry and the embassy, the Nigerian embassy in Sudan?
Well, I think that if we are just going to put the plan into operation, it's a bit late. As I said earlier, we have about 5 million Nigerians in the Sudan. Any embassy worth its salt, faced with that, should have had a plan of evacuation in place. Now, I'm not blaming the embassy because I know the problem facing all our embassies: lack of resources, lack of funds from headquarters. It's possible that the ambassador might have sent in a blueprint 3 years ago and he got no reply from the headquarters. That's really what tends to happen. But now in this case, it's actually between the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Dabiri's Diaspora Commission. Again, when you have an item that is divided between the two, you end up not having anything done as people fight for jurisdictional In the past, we succeeded, and we are still evacuating people from Libya. We are still evacuating people from Tunisia. So I won't be surprised. We are very good when it comes to the real crisis. We are very good actually at in the last minute scoring a few good goals. So air peace, and a few other of the airlines, will probably step up, and give us a good runs in evacuating people, and hope they get paid, or at least get recognized for this, national duties that they often do for us.
Well, on that note, we'd like to thank you very much, Professor Abolaji Akinyemi, for joining us.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Good day, my brothers and sisters, my mommies and my daddies over there. Is your sister again, your doctor, your friend, your girl, Anointed Lady TV. Please, if today is your first time of coming across my YouTube channel, please do subscribe for me. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell. So each time I upload any video, you will be notified. So in this my channel, I will be bringing up many things to you in which you will benefit from it. I do talk show, I do news, anything you want to talk about, I am into it. Please subscribe and turn on the notification bell. So each time I upload any video or each time I'm on live on YouTube, you will be notified. Thank you very much for always being there for me. Please do subscribe for me, and as you do so, God will richly bless you and meet your heart desire. Thank you very much. I love you all.